Welcome back to the channel. Today it's time for another heavier runner review, the Asics Metaspeed Sky Paris. I have got 100 kilometers into this shoe. I did buy it myself with my own money. I got a 10% discount from a shoe reseller here in Dubai. And when I'm talking about heavier runners, I'm categorizing that as people of heavier body weight, over 78 kilograms. I am personally roughly 89 kilograms, so we're still cutting from my initial 112 kilograms. It may be that you are big framed, it may be you're a little bit overweight, it might be that you're a bodybuilder and you're packing lots of extra muscle, but really this is more about, is this shoe going to hold up to more weight being impacted on the foam? That's really what's important. So there's a million videos about this shoe. I won't go too into depth with it. Just talking about the fit. What I found was it's quite narrow in general. I was worried it was going to rub my toes because it really felt narrow in the forefoot. But wearing the shoe is absolutely fine. It's also a shoe that feels narrow in the heel. So if you have a wider foot, maybe it's not the best shoe for you. However, although it's narrow in the back, because there's no cutout here, it does feel very stable when you're running. So on longer runs, if you do start to lose your form a little bit and you start to land a little bit more flat-footed, it really does feel like it gives you good stability despite it being narrow. Now, I also have the Adidas Pro 4, which is an amazing shoe. So when you have a Pro 4 and then you try this, what is the difference? Well, a Pro 4 is definitely springier, and this definitely doesn't have that initial spring on toe off. However, it is super light. So if you're heavier and you're carrying a bit of extra weight, you definitely will appreciate the fact that this shoe is so light. So it doesn't have that same spring and bounce, but it does give good energy return. The plate with the Sky Paris is quite straight, so it doesn't have that same aggressiveness that you get with a Pro 4, but I have found that this has been my go-to shoe now, and often I'm picking it over a Pro 4 for like my tempo work, even for my long runs, because it's so light. The heel is slightly more built up as well with this, so it does offer a little bit more heel support, although this is the first shoe where I had to use a runner's knot. So I did find that I was getting a little bit of heel slip at first, but once I used a runner's knot, it wasn't a problem. In terms of the upper, it's hyper breathable, lots of air holes. It's not as good as an upper as the Pro 4, and that's not to say it's not a good upper, it's great, but where I'm running in quite dusty and desert conditions, sometimes I'm running across a footpath and it's sand, and if I run into the sand, my shoe is full of sand, whereas with a Pro 4, you wouldn't have that problem. So if you're gonna race, and you had the choice of this or a Pro 4, and we're talking about half marathon, marathon distance, even 10K distances, I'd probably choose the Pro 4, but in terms of just a great shoe, this is a great shoe, and some people will prefer this. In terms of its durability and how the midsole is held up, this feels exactly the same, and I'm 100 kilometers in, this feels exactly the same, pretty much, as the day I bought it. So I'm picking this up at the moment over a Pro 4. I love this shoe, I think it's amazing. And does it stand up to the rigors of 90 kilograms on longer distance runs? 100% it does. So super nice shoe, can't go wrong with this or with a Pro 4 as a heavier runner. So that was just a quick review. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe and follow for more. Thanks very much. See you next time.